Yo guys, what is going on? It is your boy JamesTheAce. Welcome back to another video. Today we have, where to start? Where to actually start, right? So I guess I start with the fact that I'm realizing that I'm stuck in this perpetual vortex, seemingly, where, I'm constantly in this situation of promoting a level of PvP, and then something happens to it where it becomes unbalanced, and like over half the population just kind of stops playing. Either that or there's just some overarching problem, and the majority of players that have been playing this game for a long time just don't have the patience anymore, right? When we see something that's unbalanced, we don't want to do it, right? If we can have the entire game taken away on a whim, or just like a card that does unreasonable amounts of damage, and they can just overtime into it, it's like, well, then why even play, right? So it happened with 99. I promoted 99, and it died because the meta turned into a glass cannon mess. And eventually I did find out that you could run defensive stats, but by that point, it was like the damage had been done. Inferno Salamander was way too good because it hit off a shield and then applied the broken overtime. Solar Surge was still in the game, and I had a friend that was constantly pushing the amount of damage and pierce that a fire could get, and eventually it just killed 99. Fast forward to the League update and 5th Age, and I thought that 100 was going to be the next big thing. Turns out that when the update hit, that made it so all the level 120 Rochambeaus and Gambits were now level 100. All of the deaths decided, you know what sounds like a really good idea? To start tri-shielding for 0 pips over and over until I can Doom Oni, Doom Oni, Doom Oni. And Doom Oni at Exalted, just filling you guys in here, doesn't drain your health, it drains your bank account. So over half the population that wasn't death got Doom Oni'd so many times they went broke and couldn't play Wiz anymore. Basically is what happened. On top of that, Storms found out that meta stats could be pushed to 120, almost 130 plus damage and 50 pierce, which means a max bolt with a multiplier, right? A critical multiplier of 1.25 on most schools. A max bolt was singeing your eyebrows off through the monitor. No joke. On top of that, Storm Owl with a 1.25 multiplier, 130 damage and 50 pierce. A Storm Owl with essentially a 1.5k base spell. If you ever got hit with an open owl at Exalted, you and your parents basically got sent back to childbirth. That is essentially how hard you got hit. And now, even right, current date, rewind back about a month and a half ago, nobody saw this coming. Decathlon actually got banned from PvP, and I made a video on it. And I did some legendary PvP for the first time in years, seriously in years. And it was fun, but people started to fill me in. They were like, yo, James, like, yes, Decathlon is banned, but Storm still has a 700 health, 3 pip spammable minion. On top of that, TC Bolt can literally end the game first turn, even though there's no critical. And if somehow they're not getting lucky on the max bolt first, second, third turn, they can still Storm Elf into Triton, and it just kills you with their damage and the pierce that they have at Legendary. Without a condition, because TC Triton is like 1,000 high end. It just basically ends the game. It does like almost 2k over half your health. And then to make matters worse, Death, headless. And then if somehow you were outplaying the headless, they would just shield, infoul, overtime, or poison into Wraith. And the Wraith Spellement returns you like 60% of the damage done. So it's basically a satyr back and, proceed to headless the rest of your health away. How can you win? Well, boys, I think for the first time in, I want to say a long time, but basically never. This is the first time that something like this has happened where I truly think that changes were made to a league, and these changes are so big that Legendary and maybe 50, but I think Legendary specifically, is now the most objectively balanced league in the entire game. right? A lot of people are saying, well, what about school pips? What about healing with no mastery? Every school can satyr. Well, yeah, every school can generate death pips and threaten a doom and gloom on top of their regular school bubbles. So we can threaten anti-heal bubbles, and we can threaten trifold fever. So we can spam that spell. And lives that like to abuse the imp spellament, they're only taking off one of those 3 infections. So for every 1 pip you're using, I'm using a pip for 3 more infections. So I mean, at the end of the day, there's counters to the BS. But 4 of the major changes that needed to happen to Legend for it to be the most objectively balanced league, now that Decathlon is gone, happened. TC, item cards, minions, and the 4th thing is literally none other than Headless Horseman. So we're actually going to run through these, I consider them balance changes, right? Obviously, some things got nerfed, but at the end of the day, these things are 100% balance changes. And I think that Legendary is about to come back for the first time in a long time since like the dawn of Darkmoor and House of Scales. So TC Triton, TC Wild Bolt, TC Leviathan, and if you're planning on continuing to do Unbalanced, in my opinion, and Busted Exalted, TC Storm Owl is also banned. All 4 of Storm's broken and unbalanced TCs are gone. On top of that, I mentioned that Headless was nerfed. It is now 5 pips. It's 3 pips and requires a school pip. So in total, that is 5 pips worth in like utility damage, right? There's no reason why Headless should be doing that much. It's basically utility damage added for free. And it used to be 4 pips, right? So it is now 5 pips. It is nerfed. And the item cards that I mentioned, Firezilla being used as a gimmick in low-level PvP for far too long, and Icezilla was banned, I don't know how long ago, but they definitely missed Firezilla. It is now banned from PvP. So the pet talent and the pet card are now banned. On top of that, the Aura Crush card on this pet right here, and admittedly I was using this in my last legendary video, but the pet card and the talent card are now level restricted to level 70. So balance can no longer, right, I'll admit this because, you know, I'm not pitching changes to the devs to be made in my favor. I had someone tell me that literally like yesterday on Twitter, like, bro, if it's unbalanced, I'm going to tell you it's unbalanced, right? Aura Crush is unbalanced. I'm glad that it got level locked to 70 because I don't want to be on a fire or a death or a life and fortify and get popped while the balance has infallible. It just doesn't make any sense. So this and Firezilla both got banned and level restricted respectively. And then those are the 3 things. The 4th thing is that all minions got banned from PvP for auditing. This means the Clockwork minion for all you balances. This means the Vanderborst hit and minion, I'm pretty sure, is getting banned. All of the train minions. This means, you know, Mander, Storm Elemental, 700 health. Come on, bro. Get that out of here. Banned. Mander minion banned. Fire Elemental banned. All train minions are banned for auditing. All the way up to Talos. Talos isn't even PvPable in Test Realm. It is banned from PvP. And I don't know the timeline for when they plan on reintroducing the re-audited minions, but I am interested in seeing what they do in terms of health and what kind of utility these minions end up bringing to the table. Because there are some minions that, you know, don't have a lot of health for certain schools that have a lot of health, or just aren't worth casting in the slightest. So a lot of schools just don't run them, right? If all schools have usable, viable minions that do good things and have reasonable health in certain leagues, then, I mean, objectively, you can't really complain. But these changes are some of the biggest changes I've seen happen to any league. And I believe that these are the 4 biggest changes that absolutely had to happen that I pitched to the devs that would essentially make level 60 the objectively most balanced league in the entire game. And like, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, if you guys are even thinking about leveling a 60, I would do it right now. I haven't been this excited to do PvP in a long time. And I know I've said that every time. I said it at 99, I said it at Exalted, But all of those leagues and levels had problems that the devs never addressed, or updates came out that, you know, basically made it so you couldn't address those problems, right? Leagues invalidated 99, and the devs confirmed that they were not going to audit gear, so there was no way to fix the broken stats that some schools were achieving at Exalted. So this is huge. This is absolutely huge. The hunting grounds of level 60 are coming back, and I think that this league is about to pop off. And if you don't want to miss it, I would start questing immediately. It's about to get good. It's about to get really good. I haven't done level 60, balanced level 60 in so long. I'm so excited. I'm actually so excited, and hopefully it's a really good time.